Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video. This one is all about what was the real plan for Snoke. So after TFA, fans scoured the internet chats to discuss theory after theory about who the mysterious figure of Snoke really was, his origins, his age, his powers, how he was controlling this massive military might, and how he is connected to the previous stories in the Skywalker saga. Of course, we all know he ultimately was a young clone created by Palpatine, somehow able to wield the Force with subsequent material like the Mandalorian writing episodes in an attempt to explain how Palpatine would have been able to achieve cloning a Force user.
Put it in shackles. Send an encrypted message to Dr. Pershing. Let him know we have got our donor.
Yes, sir.
In the end, a character we were led to believe was extremely powerful was killed relatively easily despite having the ability to link two other Force users to communicate across the galaxy together. J.J. Abrams confirmed that the sequel trilogy was not planned out. He was given the keys by Kathleen Kennedy to write his The Force Awakens script. Then Rian Johnson was handed the keys and wrote his script, seemingly turning many story arcs on their heads, one of which appeared to be J.J.'s original plan for Snoke, which again, after the fact, was allowed to be retconned again by Abrams in The Rise of Skywalker. In an interview with Collider in 2018, Andy Serkis, who performed the mocap for Snoke, insisted Snoke does indeed have a backstory. He said, "We wanted him to have a great deal of mystery, but JJ and I discussed it, and Ryan and I did discuss backstories to him, where he came from. I've been asked to not shed anything, should we bring him back in any way." This quote proves that whatever plan J.J. Abrams had for Snoke, it certainly wasn't to kill him off in The Last Jedi. At least not for sure. And that they were still mulling the idea of Snoke returning in The Rise of Skywalker. We also know that Snoke, as well as Luke, were simply left out of The Force Awakens visual dictionary. This is a possible indication that neither character's story had been planned out, and revealing anything in the dictionary could derail possible future decisions. Also know that they had not planned out Rey's origins either, as Daisy Ridley has confirmed. She was well into filming The Rise of Skywalker, and JJ still had not decided what Rey's origins were.
And then it came to episode 9 and JJ pitched me the film and was like, "Oh yeah, Palpatine's granddaddy." And I was like, awesome. And then 2 weeks later he was like, "Oh, we're not sure." So it kept changing. So then even I filming and I wasn't sure what the answer was going to be.
All that to say that to achieve a reasonable estimation of what was originally planned, we need to go back to early on in the sequel era to find clues to what the plan was. Before going any further, I just want to mention that although Serkis did not have the final say on Snoke's character and origin, being that he played the role, he was privy to information that most other people wouldn't have been. And he already says he had discussion. One interview with Serkis was given to Collider in December of 2017. When asked whether Snoke is more powerful than the infamous Sith Lords Darth Vader and the Emperor, Andy Serkis responded, "Oh, without question, he has unlimited resources." That sounds like they planned on Snoke being essentially above Palpatine on the dark side hierarchy. Who could fit that description? Someone new, or someone who knew Palpatine from the past? His old master, maybe? And keep in mind, this is December 2017. So this is in between The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Serkis also told Entertainment Weekly around the same time that Snoke was a couple hundred years old. Now, Palpatine killed, or at least believed he killed, Plagueis when Plagueis was about 115 years old. Palpatine killed Plagueis in 32 BBY. The Last Jedi, which takes place over 3 days, took place in 34 after the Battle of Yavin. So if we add 66 years, which is the sum total of that amount of time, to 115, we arrive at 181 years old. A casual discussion might have someone say that that person is a couple hundred years old. At the very least, 181 is quite close to a couple hundred years old. In Star Wars The Force Awakens novel by Alan Foster, which was released 2 days before the movie, we have a scene on page 90 where Snoke is having a discussion with Kylo. He says, "Kylo Ren, I watched the Galactic Empire rise and then fall. The gullible prattle on about the triumph of truth and justice, of individualism and free will, as if such things were solid and real instead of simple subjective judgment. The historians have it all wrong. It was neither poor strategy nor arrogance that brought down the Empire. You know too well what did." And they go on to discuss sentiment and all that ruined the dark side plans, but this first sentence of this quote says a lot. "Kylo Ren, I watched the Galactic Empire rise and then fall." From Wikipedia, Snoke was the identity adopted by an artificial strand cast created in the Dark Science Laboratory on the planet Exegol by the loyalists of the Sith Eternal Cult at the behest of Dark Lord of the Sith and Galactic Emperor Darth Sidious, during their cloning experience during the reign of the Galactic Empire in 12 BBY. And the references, Star Wars Secrets of the Sith establishes that Snoke was created prior to Dathan, Shadow of the Sith, which takes place in 21 after the Battle of Yavin, per Adam Christopher on Twitter. It's set in 21 after the Battle of Yavin, establishes that Dathan was 33 standard years by the time of the novel. Therefore, Dathan was born in 12 before the Battle of Yavin, and Snoke was born in or before that year. All that to say, through all my research, I discovered he's somewhere between 46 and 54. The 54 number was a later iteration allowing Lucasfilm to say that him seeing the rise and fall of the Empire the minute he was released from his growth chamber, because that's about exactly that time. But this doesn't account for Palpatine's rise in the prequels, which one would think would be included in seeing the rise of the Empire. These younger ages for Snoke were changes made after Circus made his couple of hundred years comment as well. Circus called People magazine for an interview prior to the rise of Skywalker. They asked him why, and he's quoted as saying, "I can't say anything at all," with a laugh. Surprisingly, this could be benign hyping by the studio, or it could imply JJ was still attempting to bring his original old Snoke idea back into the saga, but decided not to. We, of course, all know about the immense reshoots that took place for the rise of Skywalker. Finally, we look at Snoke's scars on his head. Why would a clone have a specific scar? Some believed it was from a previous battle, and I think that actually might be canon, but I'm not 100% sure. But the clones on Exegol also share these scars, so was this Abrams trying to secretly tell us something? Were those scars actually due to Palpatine's attempt on Snoke's life, in which Palpatine believed he had killed his former Master Plagueis, as he discussed with Anakin in Revenge of the Sith at the opera? Because if you're cloning guys, they shouldn't all have scars that are exactly the same. That's scar tissue from something that happened. When you clone something, it doesn't have scars from whatever you cloned. How was Snoke powerful enough to use the Force to link two Force users across the galaxy? He uses Force lightning like it's nothing. He flings Rey in the Force and controls Kylo completely. And then, almost as if in a last-minute change made by Rian Johnson, he couldn't even sense a lightsaber moving beside him, about to slice him in half. All of these points point to an original plan of Snoke being Darth Plagueis. He's about the right age, he's scarred, he introduces a Force power that even Palpatine never used in the movies, and Circus said he was more powerful than Palpatine after The Force Awakens, which means that was their original plan, that he'd be more powerful than Palpatine. He commands a military emanating from the unknown regions, and appears after Palpatine has died. If the plan wasn't for Snoke to actually be Plagueis, then what was the plan? Snoke as Plagueis ties the entire 9 films together in a way so much more satisfying than the flimsy storytelling we got. Now, whatever you guys think, please let me know in the comment section. I totally get that, like, in some ways, Plagueis creates a problem for some people with Vader and all that other stuff. But at the end of the day, it would tie everything in. And there's so much more they could have done with Plagueis that would bring it to an even crazier level. I'm not going to get into that today. If you are interested in a story like that, check out my Sequels Reimagined on my channel. I do make Snoke Plagueis. He's very different in a lot of ways, and he doesn't do the same plot points that they do, but there's even more to his story, and it ties the whole Skywalker family and the whole saga together with a nifty, nice little bow, and you're not walking away from The Rise of Skywalker or The Last Jedi for that matter, or any of those films for that matter, saying, what the heck did I just watch? If those stories had been put in these films, we would not be having these massive discussions all the time about what the heck actually happened. So please let me know in the comment section what you guys think. This is a very interesting topic to me. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Please enjoy any of the other stuff on my channel you haven't seen, and have a really good day.